Salute, MobTube. What's up, bro? NYC Crime Spot. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, everybody. I asked NYC Crime Spot if he would come on today. I'm a big fan of his channel. Now, I'm assuming most of you guys are already subscribed to it, but if you aren't, you should look it up and check it out. There's a lot of good mob stories, a lot of good true crime from the New York City area, and he's good at what he does. I actually admire the way you do your videos, bro. You're very good at it.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So what got you into this, bro? Were you always into true crime?
Yeah, I was always into true crime. I mean, as far as why I started doing it, probably just boredom, like just trying to break up the boredom of life, working and shit. So just like in COVID, nobody was really out. So I just started like looking at shit, checking shit out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but as far as like why I like true crime, probably goes back to like 1990s, late 90s, 2000s, like HBO documentaries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was the best.
Like the Iceman and shit.
Well, Iceman, yeah. I mean, even though, he's a lying sack of shit, but
Yeah.
at the time watching those, I mean, yeah, definitely. But even like Hookers at the Point, you remember that one?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, all that true crime, all that like reality, like, Cuddy, like 90s HBO shit.
Yeah, that was the good stuff. What was that? What was the one with the forensics?
That was
With the
Autopsy with yeah,
Dr.
Autopsy.
Michael Baden, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was
the one
good
that
too.
said he said Epstein, they brought him out with the whole Epstein thing and he was like, "Oh, Epstein didn't do it. He didn't kill himself."
Yeah, he talked about the bone in his neck and all that,
Yeah,
right? Like how you
some
could
shit
tell
like
that
that.
he was hanged. Yeah. So that's cool. So you were into it before you decided to start your YouTube channel, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
What
Yeah.
made you decide? Because you started your YouTube channel not long after I started mine, I believe, right?
Yeah, not long after. Yeah, I think like June or July of last year. Um, what it was, like I have a friend named Tommy who's like, what's up, book club? I have a friend named Tommy who's like always, he's like about, I don't know, 7, 8, or maybe almost a decade older than me, but I met him when I was about 17. So he was always talking about the mob, talking about the Westies and shit like that. So we connected again, and then we started just like going to check out all these locations, like mob history spots, driving around Brooklyn. So from there, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like, you know, show people these spots and like talk about this shit and just to like, because I've always been interested in like documentaries and like true crime. So I figured I could try to make my own.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Same with me, man. I love the true crime stuff, man. I love missing persons cases and unsolved murders, cold cases. I
Right.
love all that stuff, man. I just got done watching. You know what? I just got done watching. You know the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
No, I don't know that. Gyps, wait, it
She's
sounds very familiar.
Yeah, she was a girl who was raised by a mother who had, Munchausen's by proxy. Like
Oh, okay.
she convinced this little girl that she couldn't walk. She kept her in a wheelchair. She wouldn't
Yep.
let her go outside. She wouldn't let her, be a kid. She wouldn't let her do anything. And she
Yeah.
basically tortured this girl her whole life. And finally, like, in her late teens, this girl was able to sneak a laptop without her mom knowing it, and she got in touch with a guy. They kind of fell in love online, and she talked this guy into killing her mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy came, he took a bus, he went there, he killed her mom, they ran off together, and eventually they got caught. But there's a good series on Hulu called The Act, and it's all
Okay.
about that, man. It's like an 8-part series, bro. It's a good story.
I would almost think she should like get off on something or, like get a lighter sentence or something.
Oh, bro, yeah. She wound up getting she got 10 years. But the
Okay.
guy who did it, her boyfriend wound up getting life. I mean, he's
Damn.
gone forever.
I
So
mean, I guess I can't. Yeah.
it's a crazy story. But I
That's
personally
wild.
think she should have got off scot free the way I see it. But
Yeah, I mean, lifetime of trauma is ahead for sure.
yeah, Mustache Pete asks if you know about the murder of Joe Communal. Is that how it's pronounced?
Kumanali? Kumanal? I don't know. I don't know that name. No.
Yeah, no,
Joe
I never heard that one.
Communal. No.
So you're from the New York area, I assume?
Yeah, I'm from Queens, born in Brooklyn, but most of my life in Queens. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's just New York you do these stories on, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have plans for some states that I want to go to that I'm trying to do interviews in. And when I'm in those states, I would like to do stuff there also, like location stuff.
Yeah. You ever
Yeah.
do the story of Kitty Genovese?
Yeah, so obviously I know the story, especially being from Queens. The thing with that is like some of the stories I like to do is like I'll go on YouTube and I'll see like, all right, is this famous New York City crime story on YouTube? Has somebody done a documentary on it? And if it's not there and I know of the story, I'm gonna try to do the best version of the story I can. Now, if you go to YouTube and you type in Kitty Genovese, you're gonna get videos with probably like 1 million views, 100,000 views, 500,000 views. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna get lost in the shuffle, essentially. It's just a story that has kind of been told probably by, I don't know. There's probably a fucking A&E documentary on there or something.
Don't you find that also the issue with mob stories? I mean, the other day I was thinking about a specific one and I put it in YouTube, bro, and there had to be
Right.
50 fucking channels that did a story on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's why if I'm gonna do one, then I'm gonna go to the location and actually show people like a little location stuff, or I'm gonna talk about like a guy that maybe nobody really talks about. Like I've done a few of those, like Eddie Sullivan or like Vincent Giattino, somebody like that. I did a couple of videos on those guys.
Yeah.
Um, but you're right, like when you type the shit in, it's like there's so many of them, so you're gonna have to spice it up a little bit for people to want to watch it.
Yeah, the one you did on gas pipe, bro. You might have done multiple. I forget which one it is exactly, but you give a few more details than are commonly known about him knowing Jimmy Heidel before that all
Yeah.
took place, and
Hmm.
him killing the dog and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
actually never knew about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are in some books. I forgot that might have been in I forgot where that might have been, but that came from Gas Pipe. He apparently said that, in
Yeah, I
the
don't remember that. I read that book so many times, but I don't remember
yeah.
the details.
You know what? It might be in the Tommy Dades book. That's where in the Mike Vecchione book that they did.
Oh,
That might have been where I read that. Possibly, yeah. But yeah, he shoots the
weird.
kid's dog. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, that's gas pipe was a vicious
Yeah.
motherfucker, man, lunatic, bro. But I love your channel, man. I did since you started. I think you do a
Thank
great
you.
job at it. I'm a big fan, man, and you go on location and all that cool shit. So I've always been rooting for you, man. I'm glad to see how well you're doing. What do you got? About 13,000 subs?
Yeah, it's about 13.5 right now. It slowed down a little bit. My views have been, lately, but yeah, 13.5, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Are there any stories you did that are your favorite that you delved into the deepest or anything like that?
Um, yeah, so probably, well, I did the Palm Sunday Massacre one. I don't know if you saw that. That was,
I don't think so.
yeah, that happened back in the 80s. A guy went into an apartment building in the City Line section of East New York, and he massacred 10 people in this apartment.
Wow.
Children, all types of thing. It's called the Palm Sunday Massacre. So that one for sure, and probably the Carneglia brothers one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of
Yeah.
feel weird about. I felt weird about doing that, but whatever.
Did did you really?
Yeah, I did. There's some, yeah,
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
yeah, and going to the junkyard and like where they had the houses and shit. I mean, to me, that's more low key, like showing people some low key ass shit because there wasn't like any story on them on YouTube as a a collective.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I felt weird
Oh,
about doing that.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure some of them are like that. Mustache Pete said Joey was the kid that was murdered in the apartment of James Rockover after a night of partying. They chopped him up all over a fight over drugs. Do you know
Well,
about that?
no. Apartment of James Rockover after a night of partying, they chopped him up. I have never heard of that. I'll look it up if you give me Joey. I already forgot his name. Cumonio or something.
Cumin,
Communi.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Comunale.
either, bro. Yeah, something like
Comunale.
that.
Yeah, I'll look back in the chat.
Comunale, I believe.
Okay.
Uh, so what do you got to tell us about today? I know you're up on all this shit, man. What kind of crazy shit is going on in New York City
Yeah,
right now, crime
some
wise?
fucking crazy shit, man. I mean, even this year, it's only April, and we got some real heavy things going on. It's really, and it's not even like, people are like, oh, there's homeless and there's shootings, and what, that's, whatever. Like big stories, within the past few months are popping off. I don't know if you've seen recently. This is crazy. I did something on my channel a few days ago. It's about this guy named Harvey Marcellin.
I think I saw that title, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, this is you're gonna love this, man. This is the transgender serial killer.
Oh God, I can't wait to hear this.
So this is all right. So, and making this video is even hard because it's like pronouns and this and that, because all the newspapers are calling this guy she, and they're trying to respect the identity. So even making it, I was like, oh, YouTube's not gonna fucking monetize this shit. I messed up on these pronouns way too much, but they gave me a chance. So so this guy Harvey Marcellin, who also goes by the name Marcellin Harvey, he had suspect killed this woman Susan Layden, who was also like I guess like a lesbian. She lived in an apartment called the Stonewall Houses, like the Stonewall bar, the famous gay place. So
Yeah.
apparently they have like an LGBTQ retirement home in Brooklyn and like Fort Greene. I guess if you can prove that you're gay, you can live there. I don't know. So
Wow.
I don't know how you prove that, but I guess it's if you're in the community, if you're in the scene or whatever, you get to, be a part of that. So he had became friends with this lady. So ultimately, this is just early last month, they find a torso in a shopping cart in front of a pawn shop over in East New York. Yeah. So then they track it back to an apartment on Pennsylvania Avenue, on 50 Pennsylvania Avenue. And they go inside and they track it back because they see this lady on the camera in late February. So it all leads back to this transgender that's calling himself Marcellin Harvey. He just reversed the name.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a head, in the fridge, like fucking Jimmy Coonan or some shit. He's got like a head in the apartment. And they're like, what? So they arrest him and they bring him in, right? But they don't tell anybody that they have a suspect. 3 days later, after they find the torso, they find like a leg and an arm in a tire, like a few blocks away.
Jesus.
So now everybody's like, oh, that's the same person, whatever. But so they released the name Harvey Marcellin as the serial killer, who's a transgender, going by if you could bring up a picture, I mean, you're not going to believe what this person even looks like. So Harvey Marcellin, you gotta see this picture. You gotta show people.
Let me look this guy up.
And the story gets deep, man. It gets pretty deep.
What the fuck?
You found it already, huh?
Wait, is this him?
No, that's the woman he killed, Susan Layden. That's a woman. But you're gonna see you're gonna see Harvey Marcellin demonetized. My bad, bro.
Hold on, wait a minute. I see him with the mask on and cuffs.
Harvey Marcellin.
No, I
go to images. Go to images. It's got to be. Maybe you don't think it's him, but it is
right now.
So that's the damn. What do they scrub the internet with this fucking person? So that's taking out without the wig, but there's pictures Harvey Marcellin, or if you type in Marcellin Harvey, maybe they're being a little proper on the Google.
Oh, here. Oh shit! How about that one?
Yeah, that's great right there. That's the one. There's like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah. Dang. And there's one under that you'll see where yeah.
There's another one.
Yeah, there's the legend right there.
And he's 83 years old.
83 years old, dude. Let me tell you the story. Wow. So this guy, right? He first gets arrested in 1963 for killing his live-in girlfriend. In 1963, he killed this girl. He shot her up. So he goes to jail for 20 years for that. While he's in jail, he's in the Attica riots.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know how I found that out? This is another thing. Get fucking newspaper archive subscriptions so you could find this shit. Because I typed his name in, and he's in a fucking news article talking about being transferred from Attica to Green Meadow Prison, and he's like, "Oh, Attica was better than this. This place sucks." You know, he's like, because they're still treating him like shit, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's all like, "Oh, I wish I was back in Attica." So he's in the Attica riots, right? So this guy has seen a lot of shit. So they let him out of prison in 1983 or 84 or 85. And less than a year out, he fucking murders another woman.
Jesus.
And he cuts her up and he leaves her body by Central Park.
Wow.
So he goes to jail for that. He only got 12 years, but they managed to keep him in jail for like 33 years, right? He got out of jail in 2019.
Okay.
And here we are in 2022, and he cuts up another woman.
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah,
So he's caught now, right? He's going.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
assuming
sitting.
at 83
Yeah,
years old. He's going away forever.
yeah. Well, can you imagine, dude? He's 83, and he spent over 50 years in fucking prison.
Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine what that is?
No, it's unbelievable. And every time they let him out, he killed somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable,
Unbelievable,
bro.
Even into his 80s, like he's still murking people.
Wow. I never heard of that one. That one's crazy. I'm sure that's controversial too because of the transgender thing and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I saw some articles. People were like, "Oh, this is enough. They're abusing the pronouns or whatever." It's like,
Yeah.
listen, you guys created it. Stop it already.
Yeah. So, somebody else, I think it was MobFacts, told me to get that newspaperarchives.com to.
Oh yeah, man.
You just subscribe to it?
Yeah, it's newspapers.com. Yeah, you subscribe to it. It's kind of pricey, man. It's like $20 a month. So as far as subscriptions go, it's kind of on the higher. I mean, unless you got some, I would consider it on the higher. But as far as the information you get there, it's like invaluable. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure it's worth it.
You get a lot of nuance that you're not going to get.
So that's how you dig up a lot of this information, right? You put time into these stories, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I try to get court documents, newspaper articles. With like iPads and Kindle and shit, now you can have a book in like 2 seconds in the palm of your hand, and you could just. So yeah, I would say newspaper articles are the best for like really nuanced information. That's really, really cool. But yeah, court documents and like books too. Yeah.
That's cool. So how many videos you put out regularly? How often? How frequently do you put them out?
Yeah, so I've been really busy lately and a lot of things going on in my life. So I was really aiming for like 3 or 4 a month at least because they take a lot of time,
Yeah.
That's kind of how I was going with it. But like I said, I have been busy, so it hasn't been as good lately. I probably fell off the algorithm a little bit or whatever you call it. But
yeah. That's what
as
happens.
soon as no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm experiencing that as we speak. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Plus, like, I don't want to keep talking about like the mob stuff too. I don't want to I mean, I do, but like, I don't.
No, I hear you. I don't blame. Everybody's doing it, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. So what else you got? Any other stories that are interesting in New York right now? True crime?
You got the one that just happened over in Forest Hills.
Oh yeah, that's the one you were telling me about before the show.
Yeah. So what was it on Saturday? I think it was Saturday or Sunday morning by Forest Park over there. John A-Light over there in Forest Park. They found Death Haven. They found
that nobody but him ever called it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a weird place though. It's definitely a fucking weird place.
Yeah, I grew up around there.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in that part of Queens, but I always heard stories about weird stuff going down in there.
Yeah. Yep.
So they found this woman, a duffel bag, on the side, like on Forest Park, on some walking trail. They found her in a duffel bag, all like stabbed 60 times.
Jesus Christ.
And she lived on Forest Hills in a nice little house, like there's parts of Forest Hills that are like, they got really nice houses. So she
Yeah.
lived over there. Her husband and one of her sons was out of town at the time. One of her sons was home, and they had arrested him initially for it, and then they let him go,
Hmm.
which to me doesn't mean anything. They could always just pick him up, but apparently she was seen at a bar by herself, right?
Yeah.
And then she went home, and get this, like the murder happened in the house.
Oh, really?
She, she was having an affair. Maybe she was. It's quite possible. Um, so whoever killed her, like killed her in the house, put her in a duffel bag, and they fucking dragged her down the block for a half a mile in this duffel bag.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the cops literally said like that there was a trail of blood leading to the fucking house. Like,
Wow.
so to me, that's crazy. But so it could be the son. It could be that she's having an affair with like a Russian whatever. Because I think her name is Olga. I don't know. Her and her husband are like Russian Jews or something.
Okay.
And could be the son, right? Could be an
Yeah. I mean,
affair.
why'd they let the son go?
I really don't know, man.
Hmm.
Maybe they just thought he's like 13. Maybe they didn't think that he could have done it. I
Oh,
don't, but they could always grab him at any time. I mean, but,
yeah, yeah.
or I was thinking maybe the husband put a little contract out on her or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. That's an interesting one.
So,
And
yeah,
any other ones? Anything else current?
ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
Uh, it's funny because I was watching the one that you put out with the familial DNA thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they had one of those recently.
Oh, and,
I wanted to do maybe a story on it. It's in the Bronx.
oh, okay.
It was a cold case from like 1999. It was like a 14-year-old girl. I think her name was Minnerly Soriano, and they found her in a dumpster, like bound by Co-op City.
Oh shit.
This is a cold case for over 20 years, and they think they just solved it because they arrested the guy.
Yeah,
So,
it's a no, go ahead.
no, yeah, you were saying something.
No, I was just gonna say it's amazing how they can do this now. Like with the,
Yeah,
the the one I just did. I mean, they were able at first they were able to take the DNA they found on the victim and in the apartment, and they actually built a sketch of what the person might look like.
yeah, I
But they
saw it. Yeah,
couldn't, they couldn't make an exact match with that. So then this Parabon Nanolabs came into the picture, and they were able to track relatives. And once
yep,
they were able to do that, they got to the guy, and in order to find him, they had to follow him, and he threw something away. They
yep.
gum and a water bottle. They took it out of the trash, and they got an exact match. But it's fascinating, bro. It's fascinating the way they could do that shit now.
Yeah, that's like, I always say people, it's funny, like, with the DNA shit, like the Ancestry or the 23andMe or whatever it is, because that's where they're getting this shit from, right? You go
Oh
into
yeah,
like, so it's like when people are like paranoid that, oh, I'm not going to do that, bro, they're watching me. It's like, yo, if your cousin did it, you fucking did it, dude. So don't worry about it. There's no getting around it. Someone in your family has taken a DNA test, or, I'm not going to say that. I don't know. It just seems a little weird how widespread that is. It could be like some intentional. Let's put this out into the public. Everybody wants
oh
to.
yeah. I wouldn't doubt. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but I wouldn't
Right,
doubt for a
right.
second if 23andMe and Ancestry and all that were some government
Yeah,
funded programs.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, let's
yeah.
get people uploading their DNA. I'll tell you, with me, um, I got 2 felony cases, and my first one was in 2000. Back then, they weren't doing it. They weren't taking DNA. They just did fingerprints and mugshots, your tattoos, all that
Right.
shit. Um, but then my next one in 2016, I was getting out. I was getting out in 2017, and like a few days before my release date, they called me up and they told me that when I got up to I was in a work release program. I guess you'd call it the lobby or whatever. They had
Okay.
somebody there from the state police. And I said, what the fuck is this? And they were like, oh, he's got to take your DNA you got convicted of a felony, so he's got to take your DNA before we can release you.
Oh,
And I
wow.
said, they didn't do that on my last one. He said, well, they didn't start doing it till I think 2006. So, yeah, so the
Wow.
Pennsylvania State Police guy, swabbed my cheeks, all that shit, and took the sample, and he was out of there. So I'm like,
It's
wow.
crazy, man.
Oh,
You
bro,
wonder what goes into that. Like what goes into that? Like who thinks of this shit? Like, oh, we got to start doing this shit. You know?
I don't know, bro, but it sucked because my criminal mind, bro, as soon as I went back to my dorm, I was like, that's it. I can never commit
Yeah.
another fucking crime again. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid, if you rob a bank and they check they
Oh,
take
yeah.
samples just from the countertops, whatever, you're finished. It's like
Yeah. That's
you
it.
can't do anything, bro. So they're gonna make it that way, man, so that they could find anybody in no time at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's how they caught the Golden State Killer, right? The same shit.
Well, yeah, the woman that solved the case that I dropped last night, she's actually the one. Her name is CC Moore, and
Oh, okay.
she's actually the one that she's like a
Yeah,
forensic
you mentioned that. Yeah.
genealogist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she helped crack the case of the Golden State Killer. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's her
Crazy.
thing, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's got an
Shit.
interesting story too, man. She's not even like formally trained or anything.
She's like a
You
sleuth, a professional sleuth, or
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
why. And now she works for this Parabon Nano Labs, man. And this is what they do. So, like with that case, when they just couldn't, when it had gone cold for so many years that when they decided to reopen it in 2015, the district attorney in Lancaster County said, well, you know what? Let's hire this Parabon Nano Labs and see what we could do with the DNA. And that
Wow.
was it, man. It solved the case.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, yeah, there's no getting away, man. Someone's gonna. There's no. Yeah. But with the guy, what I was saying with the Bronx, it's the same thing. So they caught this guy, right?
Hmm.
Over like 21 years later or something. But here's the crazy part. This guy was like somewhat of a local celebrity.
Okay.
Almost like, that DJ guy, whatever. But
Yeah.
so his name is Joe Martinez, I believe, but he went by the name Jupiter Joe. And he would, yeah. He would hang out in the Bronx with a telescope on the sidewalk. And he would like do like space shit with all the community. And he's still got a Facebook page and a YouTube page up if you look it up. And he would do like
Shit.
community, he would do like parties for kids. He was on like the news, like the Bronx news, um, all over, like a little New York, celebrity or whatever. So you would go to the Bronx, right? And you would see this Momo on the sidewalk with a telescope. You're like, hey, come look at the moon or whatever, right? So he got the nickname Jupiter Joe. And the freaky part about it is that the girl that they connected him to after all these years to killing this girl. That was a cold case. She was like obsessed with space. She loved like space and like um astronaut stuff. And then this guy became Jupiter Joe with the space. It's so weird, like the psychology behind that. So he knew her somehow. And he was like playing out this little space fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking weird, dude.
Well, those are some of the creepiest cases, bro, because it's like they'll use a person's desire for something, like desire to learn something or whatever it
Right.
may be. They'll use that to draw them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll fucking kill them. So it's even more fucked up to me, man, because it's such a deceptive thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know, bro.
And then to just like fall into that character for 20 years, like, oh, I'm the space guy now. Like that's fucking
Jupiter Joe. At first, I was gonna say Jupiter Joe is a corny name, but then when you told me what he did, I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's fitting. Makes sense.
Yeah, because he's fucking out there, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you ever do any stories? Because I obviously haven't seen all your videos. I barely have time to do my own. But have you ever covered any missing persons cases that are still unsolved? The person hasn't been found.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a cold case from the 70s that hasn't been solved.
Oh, really? Who was that?
Yeah. So this is a girl. I did it with my friend Manny Grossman. He runs a Son of Sam YouTube channel, which is crazy. It's a lot of crazy information. So Leslie Zarrett was a girl that was killed in Bayside, Queens, back in 1974. They
Okay.
found her body in a schoolyard on Springfield Boulevard, like naked with her clothes like neatly next to her.
Oh
And
shit.
and it's unsolved to this day. So I did that one. I went to the location and we did the whole thing. And the reason why that case had somewhat of a resurgence some years ago is because they were trying to connect it to like the weird Son of Sam cult shit. They
Yeah.
tried to connect like some of the letters to her murder. Um, and then there was a police officer named Joanne Jaffe who kind of tried to revitalize the case about 10 or 15 years ago. But they still have not, they think they know who it was, but they couldn't get anything out of the guy. Leslie Zarrett, she was killed in Bayside, still unsolved. And if you look at the cold cases for New York City, it's still there. There's only like, I don't know why. If you look at them from like Queens, there's like 10 of them, right? And she's still one of them that's
Wow.
unsolved.
I wonder during like these serial killer like these sprees, like I wonder how many murders went unsolved because they attributed it to the serial killer at the time, and then years later found out it wasn't him anyway. You know what I mean? It almost because cops get laser focused, bro. So
Yeah,
like a case like that, like if they think, oh, it's the Son of Sam, they'll never
right,
bother looking for anyone else. You know
right.
what I mean? And then
Well, yeah, yeah.
years later,
Well,
they'll find out it wasn't, and it's too late.
yeah, I don't know if they thought the Son of Sam at the time. It was like later, like I guess maybe in the 80s or 90s or whatever, people started to connect these letters. And I think there might have been some detectives later that kind of felt a connection. But
Yeah.
at the time, honestly, they had a guy in for questioning that had attacked another girl recently, and they knew each other somehow, but they just couldn't connect the dots. I don't know. I don't know. It's still cold. I don't know why, really.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But you haven't done any like disappearances that where they still haven't found the person?
Um, I mean, if you count like DeMeo stuff, I guess they haven't found like any of those people, but
Well,
no,
yeah.
no.
Not so much that type of stuff. Yeah.
No, no, but no, not like individual people that are gone. I have not. No. I would like to though.
Yeah. Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by all of it. Like I know you just cover New York City stuff, man, but like the show Disappeared and shit like that. Some of these cases, like these
Yeah, yeah,
girls and
yeah.
stuff that have vanished years ago. Do you
It's
follow any of that
creepy.
stuff?
I do watch some of that stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I know that show Disappeared, but I definitely watch all stuff like that for sure. Yeah. I don't know of
Yeah,
any
yeah.
big what's like the big one.
Well, probably the biggest one I'd say um the biggest one that's talked about, and there's so many podcasts on and documentaries. Oxygen did a series, is a girl named Maura Murray.
Maura Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Maura
don't know if I
Murray
know that.
basically she was living in she was going to school in Massachusetts. And I forget if it was Boston. I forget exactly where. But she was living there. She was like, she had gone to West Point. She got some trouble while she was in West Point. She kind of proved to be like a problem child a little bit. So she started going to college in Massachusetts. And one day, just out of nowhere, she leaves a note for her professor or something that she's going to be gone for a couple of days, and she'll get her, whatever paper was due, she'll get that into her as soon as possible, whatever. She doesn't tell her father, her sisters, nobody. She gets in the car and she starts driving to New Hampshire. And, or no, I'm sorry, maybe she was driving to Vermont. I don't have the facts memorized like I used to. But it was either in Vermont or New Hampshire. She got in a car accident. She crashed the car. And, you know, a school bus driver had stopped and asked her, "Hey, do you need help?" She said, "No." He said, "I'm going to call the cops." She said, "Do not call the cops. I'm good. Don't worry about it." He drives off and she vanishes, bro, from that spot. She just disappeared. Okay. And that
Really?
was in 2005. Yeah. And until this day, they're still investigating. They're still, I mean, you could find podcast after podcast, documentaries, everything, TV series. And it's just one of the most fascinating cases, bro, because there's really nowhere she could have gone. She either
Yeah.
got picked up by another driver almost instantly and he did something with her. She may have ran off into the woods and maybe an animal got her, but they don't really know. There's no answers. So it's one of the most mysterious cases of all
That's
time.
crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah, so
wild. It's
that,
crazy when someone just vanishes, right? They just disappear.
oh my God. Yeah, bro.
It's so
So it's
weird.
like, yeah, it's another one, that's one of the ones I'm into a lot that I've done a lot of research on.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's no point in me doing that story because, bro, it's one of the most commonly told stories. There's
Yeah,
nothing I could add to it.
you gotta find like the ones that people forgot about that are low key. Like if you don't find it on YouTube, those are the ones you gotta do, you know?
Yeah.
Or like or maybe there might be on YouTube, but there's like only a few of them, or it's not really anything serious or anything like that, you know? But
Yeah.
yeah, those are great stories. I mean, I remember as a kid, watching like Unsolved Mysteries and shit like that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
It used to
bro. I
scare the
remember
shit
that
out of me,
shit.
bro. It used to
I
scare
know
the
that
shit
shit.
out of me, yeah.
That shit was wild, man. Christopher Habig said FBS Mr. Bolin has a top missing persons crazy odd shit channel. He does. Mr.
Mr.
Bolin is the
Ballin?
man, bro. Yeah.
Mr.
You,
Ballin?
you ever you never watched him?
It sounds familiar. What is yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he does all that type of stuff, missing
Okay.
persons and shit. He's huge though, bro. Like he has,
Mr.
oh my
Ballin.
God. Let
Yeah.
me check.
I watch so
He must
much
have,
I watch so much random shit on YouTube I forget like half the time when I'm watching.
yeah,
Mr.
let me
Ballin.
check. Yeah, he's got 5.79 million subscribers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I've probably seen him, yeah.
That chapter is another one too.
Yeah, that
That
chapter's good. Yeah, I love that dude.
that dude Mike, he's funny.
Mike,
He
yeah,
can't
Mike.
he can't say tree.
Tree. It's good because you can watch it with your girl and stuff. My girl likes it. So
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any? This might sound like a strange question, but like with the case I just did, I knew the guy that murdered that school teacher. Unfortunately, he was a fucking asshole. But
yeah,
through the DJ business, there was no way not to have contact with him, and I didn't get along with him. The last few times I saw him. But do you have a personal connection to any of the cases you covered?
uh, no, I don't. No, not at all. Not like real personal connection. The one that's most personal to me, I don't know if you saw the Wendys Massacre. I don't know if you remember that, the Wendys Massacre.
I remember hearing about it, but what
Yeah.
happened?
So I grew up in Flushing, so I've been, once I moved to Queens, I'm like a Flushing guy. So,
That's where I
and
was
that happened.
born.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened when I was in junior high school in 2000. I think I was in seventh or eighth grade. It was like May 24th, 2000, the same day 50 Cent got shot in Jamaica. Was the same day this happened. They went into the Wendy's on Main Street in Flushing and they killed 5 workers in there. So that became the Wendys Massacre. Yeah, so I always remembered it, and then once again that was like not one that was really on YouTube. So I made that one, and then one of the mothers for one of the people that survived, reached out to me and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much for making this and that." And so I guess that's the most personal for me, but I don't really have a connection to it, but it was so close to home, so I guess I have that connection to it.
Yeah, I got you. Let me answer this real quick. Miss McGinnis. Yeah, Miss McGinnis, the thing about that guy was, and that's the reason I put celebrity in quotes in the title of that show. That guy was, put it this way, as far as the DJ business in this area, York County, Lancaster County, Reading, Harrisburg, Lebanon, all that shit, he was the biggest fucking DJ. When he got busted for that murder, he was booked out like 2 years in advance. There was actually families that were going on the news. Well, not families, but couples that had paid him thousands of dollars in advance for their wedding to DJ their wedding, and now he's locked up for life. So all these people lost shit because he was expensive. I mean, that guy, if you got him for a wedding, you were lucky if you were paying less than, I'd say, I don't know, $3,000-4,000 minimum.
Wow.
So that guy was so well known in this area that, trust me, around here, damn near everybody brushed up against or had some contact with DJ Freeze at some point. I just happen to know him because he owned a record store called the 12 Spot in Lancaster. And in York at the time where I live, there was no record stores. There was nowhere to get vinyl. You know what I mean? Like actual records. So DJs would have to go to other places. And I used to take like once a month, I'd go to Bensonhurst to 86th Street to
Oh, nice.
the music stop, shit like that. But you know, I had to find something closer eventually, and he had this store in Lancaster. So I would go there and I'd get my records from him. And like one time he had a turntable of mine fixed, but that became a problem. He was an asshole. He treated his customers like shit. He looked down on other DJs because he was, I mean, he was the best around. So he was looked at, you know, or at least he looked at himself like he was this fucking this superstar. So yeah, it's a lot of people around here, Miss McGinnis, knew who he was. A lot of people were at least at events that he had DJ'd. That guy was busy constantly. They said in one of the articles I read that just from his DJ business, and that was not his only business, he had online stores and shit. Just from his DJ business, he was bringing in like $500,000 a year.
Wow. And that was just in Pennsylvania, huh? That regional, that area?
Yep. Now he
That's
DJ'd
crazy.
in like New York, Philadelphia, stuff like that, but mainly around here, you know, in like
Wow.
4 or 5 counties. And he was
That's
huge, bro. He
wild.
was the person
Yeah.
everybody wanted for their wedding, or you know, he did school events, everything. And the guy fucking made a fortune. And the funny
Yeah.
part is, bro, he used to hold in the 90s, he had a reputation for holding these stop the violence rallies in Lancaster City. Like he
Oh,
was all
wow.
against violence and, you know, trying to do like music videos, stop the violence, this and that. And then you find out that he raped and killed this poor woman
No, the
in
murder was before he was
1992.
doing that, right? Oh, the 92. So he was doing that shit after he already had murdered that girl. The Stop the
Before
Violence
and
girl. Yeah.
after.
Before
Before
and
and
after.
after. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
I think the
The
first Stop the
fuck?
Violence rally he did was in like 1990. And then he did them throughout the
Jesus.
90s. And, you know, that's what he was known for. You know what I mean? He would do shit like that. And sure enough, it turns out that he committed this horrific crime.
You know,
So,
the one-off murder is almost as weird as like the spread out murder, you know, when people kill over decades. But like the
yeah.
one-off murder is weird too. It's like, oh, I just decided to kill somebody, and then I'm just like, I'm never gonna do it again. I just wanted to do it that one time. It's just fucking
I know,
weird.
bro. It's strange. It makes you wonder what drives people. Like with this
Yeah,
specific case, there's still no motive, none whatsoever. I mean, like,
really
so
weird.
it's hard to get into people's heads, man. I don't understand. I don't understand what makes people do what they do, but it's like I said, man. That's the cool thing about like what you do and stuff. Like, especially you're in New York City, you'll never run out of material, bro.
Right.
True crime is never. It's not like the mob stuff. The mob stuff, you know, for the most part, bro, it's all over. There's not going to be much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
But true,
there's interesting angles that you could still come up with the mob, and I try to find those. Like you got to like label your video like an interesting title, you know, and just like focus on one little tiny piece of a story, you know. Like you
yeah,
mentioned that gas pipe one, so I called it "Gas Pipe Meets the Mafia Cops," and it just talks about how they just met. This is where they met, and that's it. Like it's not really anything crazy. It's just like a kind of like a, you know, just a little piece of like a bigger story instead. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you got to like do things like that. I think if you want to like talk about that shit, or else it just becomes like monotony, and it's just like a whole fucking long story that everybody's, you know.
See, but you're one of the reasons I admire what you do, bro, is because you came out of nowhere just like I did and a lot of us did, and you're pretty
Yeah.
successful right now as far as a YouTube channel, considering how long you've been on here.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's successful, but I'm not making any. I'm really not making anything on it, but it does make me feel good, though. It definitely a booster. You know, makes me want to keep making the videos.
Do most of your videos get monetized?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they make me, you know, appeal a lot of them, but
Yeah.
I think only maybe like 2 or 3 of them are not monetized, and that's usually due to too much allusion to like sexual crimes and stuff like that. They don't like that shit, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How now? I spoke to another YouTuber and I didn't even know you could do this, but I've actually done it recently. When you do an upload like that, you can upload it as unlisted and
Yeah.
monetize it and then wait until it gets monetized and then drop it. I think is that what
Yeah.
you do?
No, I know you can do that. I'm just too fucking stubborn. I don't want to change anything I've written. I don't want to tell a half story just so I can make a few bucks. Like I've done that and I've noticed that that works, but then I got to like edit my words and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just refuse not to, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy I talked to, I won't say who it is, but he does well, man. And I know just off a couple of videos, man, he got a good bit of
Yeah.
views. And this guy made like $1,000 in 1 month just off of 2 videos. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
uh,
That happened.
it,
Yeah, that happened to me. I had a couple of like the Wendy's one that has like 250,000 views or something stupid like that. And so I definitely have a couple of videos that I made a lot on, but
that's
mostly
cool.
it's, but I don't know. I'm just like stubborn, I guess.
Yeah. Well, YouTube is tough, man. People think it's easy. There's so much politics and shit, and you got to be so fucking careful with
Yeah.
everything. It's like if when I do these lives and I really go off, a lot of the time I won't even bother monetizing it because
Yeah.
I don't even want them looking at it, first of all. But second of all, it's like I know I'm not going to get monetized anyway. So like
Right.
what you were saying, the way you got to appeal, like I'll monetize a video and then 3 days later, after it already got all its views, they'll approve me. And it's like,
Oh, that
okay, so I
happened
get
to me.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you get
happened to me
nothing.
a couple months ago. I had like 20,000 views on a video and then they fucking decided to monetize it. I'm like, wait, why would you do that? That's so stupid,
Yeah, that's a bitch. That's a
But,
bitch.
you know, but you're doing good, man. You have all these interviews and stuff, man. I mean, it's really cool. You're talking
Thank
to
you,
all
man.
these people.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God, bro. Trust me, I wish I could tell you. Gumsmoke is the only person who knows. I wish I could tell you who I've been having a conversation with the last
Oh
few
yeah.
days, but this guy, I'll be interviewing him on the 28th. Okay. This is going
Okay.
to be the biggest interview I ever did. And he actually made an offer of a possible trip for me and Shanna out to
Oh
go
wow.
see him and a couple of other people he's working on a movie with right now.
Wow.
And he offered, for us to come do something fun with all those guys. And when he told me who they were, I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You gotta be, are you serious? He's like, yeah, bro, it'd be something fun we could do together. I said, holy shit. So yeah,
That's
bro,
awesome.
it's amazing, bro. The people
You
I've
see?
met, the friends I've made, the stuff
Yeah.
I've been able to accomplish, bro, is well worth it. You know what I mean? It makes it
Yeah,
all
and
worth it,
it's
bro.
and it's like, people talk shit. Oh, you don't have that many subs, you know what I mean? This, but look at all this other stuff you're doing. You're talking to people that you never thought you would be talking to, and people. I see the shit talking. I watch. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's like, oh, this guy's not an actor. He's only been in this. He's been in. It's like it's just fucking stupid, man. It's like, come on.
I know.
You know?
Like, bro, could you
Oh,
imagine, bro? I had Robert Eiler on, AJ from The
right.
Sopranos, and they
Yeah.
tried to act like that was nothing. They were
Right.
like, "Ooh, big interview!" Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a huge fucking interview, bro.
Yeah. And I'm not even trying to get involved in the job, whatever. But it's like, like even fucking one hit wonders are one hit wonders. You know what I'm saying? Like how hard that is to even be, bro, to be like in the top 10 song. Like, oh, my song was in the top 10 for fucking 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing. So like if somebody's in a movie that's legendary or in a fucking movie that stands the test of time, like, there's something to be said for stuff like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with, talking to people like that. People
No,
talk
and
shit,
I and people like that from a show like The Sopranos, bro. That show will be watched forever. I just saw
Right.
somebody on Facebook yesterday who said that he just got done watching The Sopranos for the first time ever.
Yeah.
So these guys will be famous forever, bro.
Of
I mean,
course.
they're
Of
never,
course.
they're never
Yeah.
going away. So when
Yeah.
you do those interviews, bro, they live on. People will watch them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Even like Bronx Tale, you talk to a bunch of those guys. I mean, those movies are legendary movies. They're going to be watched for generations. So there's no shame in talking to anybody. And it's just so stupid to even, I
I
don't
know.
know. I've only done like 3 interviews myself. I never planned on even like showing my face on this fucking thing. But once I figured I had to talk to some people, and it's been good.
Well, I
Doing
give you
that.
credit for at least doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let me if you guys have questions for NYC Crime Spot, and I'm sure some of you do, ask them now, and we'll see. Maybe we could learn some more stuff from them. Miss McGinnis said, "Do families ever get upset with bringing up a crime story?" That's a good question.
Listen, let me tell you something, man. I fucking had all right. So the Wendys Massacre. The mother of one of the survivors reached out to me and was really happy that I did it. Right? Honestly, it almost made me cry. I'm not even kidding. So she was happy that I did the story. Right?
Uh-huh.
Literally 2 days ago, I did a story about this guy called Crazy Sal DeSarno. He was a guy out of Canarsie who killed a cop back in the 80s. It's a crazy story. And they follow it up with their interview. You'd have to watch it to kind of get it. But so the nephew of the cop that got killed just sent me an email like 2 days ago. He's like, "Oh, I Google Crazy Sal all the time to see if anyone does anything new. Thank you so much for remembering my uncle, this and that. He gave me his number. He wants me to give him a call." So honestly, families, they reach out to me and they like that I do this stuff.
Oh, that's good. But no, but you haven't pissed anybody off yet?
So I mentioned the Carneglia brothers video that I did,
Oh, yeah.
and I got a couple of people. One guy said recently, "Did the Carneglia brothers ask you to make this video about them?" And I was like, I don't know. I guess I have the same permission that fucking authors and Netflix and courts and newspapers that disseminate this information. I guess I got the same permission they got. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I could, so that's the only one where a couple of times, yeah, that's why I feel weird about that video because it has so many views and I think it was a little invasive, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I did one time that I won't get into what it was, but it was about a mob guy that actually was he was good friends with my with somebody in my family. And I just did a story on him about a crime that he had allegedly committed, and it was there was nothing really newsworthy about it. It's been in the news for 35 years. You know what I mean? But it pissed him off. He was there was somebody in here that was not happy about it, and he was pissed
Oh,
off.
wow. Yeah.
Not the guy who I did the story about. It was a guy that was related to him. And
Right.
he was angry about it and bitched at me a little bit. But I'm like, listen, I'm not saying anything that's not already out there. I'm not giving up new information. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you got to have an intuition. And like, there's certainly crews and stuff that I would never talk about. Like, you got certain people out of like Ozone Park or Liberty Ave, like those guys, like 90s, 2000s. Like, I would never talk about those guys. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. You know what? You probably know who I'm referring to, like those guys.
Yeah.
Even certain crews in Yonkers, that were in a shopping center. I would never talk about those guys. I just don't feel comfortable talking about certain, not that I would think anything would happen. It's just too new. It's too close. It's like too, I don't know. I just don't like it. You just have to have an intuition for shit. And even then people are going to get mad. So.
Yeah, it's true. You're better off not talking about some of those guys, though. There is another content creator on here that I know. He did a story on a certain alleged mob boss, and he got some emails telling him basically that you better take this down.
Okay.
But he didn't. So yeah, I mean, there's it's gonna happen, bro. Especially when it comes to the mob stuff and all that.
Wow. Yeah, someone else said something to me like on one of the videos, and I was like, "Hey, if you want to talk about it, you could email me." I'm very nice and cordial, and they never email me. But if somebody told me to take something down, honestly, I would take it down. I would just take it down. It's not worth it. Like,
yeah, I agree. Let me see what Oh, Mustache Pete said people don't realize the energy and motivation it takes to get the confidence to make a video on here. Very true, bro.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. I mean, some people are naturally confident, I suppose. I'm an introvert. I'm really introverted. I'm shy mostly, and so it's really hard for me to get on here initially.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was like that in the beginning, bro. I was like, I couldn't even. The first video I did, I wouldn't even let my wife see it. I was so fucking embarrassed by it. You know what I mean? It's like
I remember when you popped up. I was watching probably through like an A-Light algorithm. You were talking about
yeah.
Eli.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
And
thing.
bro, even hearing the sound of my own voice, I can't stand it. But at least now I'm used to it. So it's like,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
deal with it now. Before I would hear it, and I would cringe. I'd be like, oh, listen to me.
Yep. Yep.
John O'Master said FBS staying on the positive content path a day at a time. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying, but I'm gonna have some things to say later in this show. So Batchelder Street said, what shows are coming up next, Crime Spot?
What shows are coming up next? I have a couple of things in mind. I'm thinking about well, that Jupiter Joe thing. I really want to dig deeper into it and talk about Jupiter Joe, the Bronx space cadet, and also I recently found out that there was a bombing at LaGuardia Airport, like back in the 80s or 70s, that I've never heard about. Did you ever hear about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd never heard about it. I just randomly came across that. I still want to do some mob stuff, some location stuff for like the mob, I have in mind. Not like long, just go to the spot, talk about some shit.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go. It was in Brooklyn the other day. I was over by, Marine Park Bridge over there.
Yep.
Yeah, where Harvey Rosenberg was left and machine gunned, after he was already dead. So I was going to do a video of that because people have asked me to go there before and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to do that. And
That's cool.
yeah, but that crew is definitely what got me into like mob shit for sure.
Really?
And my friend is making a book. I emailed you about that actually. My friend Quentin. I don't know. Do you follow Darkness Underneath podcast on YouTube?
No, I don't think I ever heard of that one.
Yeah, it's my friend Quentin Walker. He does a DeMeo podcast or whatever, but he's writing a book. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be better than Murder Machine.
Oh, shit.
Well, it's a lot of new information. It's a lot, I research with him and another research partner of mine, and he's in talks with a lot of the officers that were directly involved. He's going to be hearing a lot of the recordings, and it's just so much information about that crew that's not known. And just so everyone's knowing, if anybody's interested, there is going to be a new Roy book coming out over the next couple of years. It's going to be really good.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's interested.
Yep.
Edward Everett said, I like the one he did on Vic Amuso.
Vic Amuso. That might have been the gas pipe in Vic, maybe. Or I did one called Goodfellas in Canarsie. I went to like a shit ton of Canarsie spots. What's your favorite case to research and which one? Case to research and which one bothers you? Which one bothers me?
Any of them that just make you not want to go to bed at night? Like, fuck this.
well, the Palm Sunday Massacre one. I mean, because like 8 of the people killed were children. Like 7 of them were children. Yeah,
that'll do it.
And the guy's out of prison, by the way. They released him.
What?
He killed 10 fucking people. He got out of jail a few years ago. Out of prison a few years ago. Because when they initially sentenced him, he got like sentenced and charged with like temporary insanity due to like fucking a Rick James amount of cocaine that was going through his system. So he was insane, So so he's out. Christopher Thomas is his name. If you ever want to look him up, Christopher Thomas.
Yeah, I do now. That's unfucking believable, bro.
You hear that, Christopher Thomas? You hear that?
RGD 609. This might be kind of the same question. He said, was there a crime that was just too vulgar or past your line to investigate?
Not really. Just like some crews or mafia things that I won't talk about.
Oh, okay.
So there's nothing too vulgar. And it's not that anyone told me not to talk about them. It just doesn't feel like, I don't think it's right, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Jimmy Calandra, Bath Avenue story, said, don't take nothing down. The mob works through intimidation. I don't like to be intimidated.
Hey, thank you, Jimmy. I want to talk to Jimmy too about a couple of things. Maybe one day.
Well, here you go.
Talk to him.
He just said, tell Crime Spot I'm going to take him on a joyride to some mob spots.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, because I was working on a Tommy Karate story, but not from the angle of like, what everybody talks about or whatever. I was really digging into what his like taste was as far as like reading and stuff like that, and what some of the things that he kept in his possession. And I started looking into those publications, and I actually acquired some of the books that they had found in his collection that were there was like two popular publishing companies that were putting out books in the 70s and 80s that were talking about like how to kill people, how to rob, martial arts. There was these two companies called Paladin Press and Lupanix Unlimited. These were two publishing companies that were like coming out with like how to make drugs, how to run drug operations, how to kill people, how to do all these things. So they had found a bunch of these books in his possession.
Yeah.
And you could only get those through like mail away catalogs and shit like that. So that thing actually is something I've been working on for a very long time, as far as reading through all that literature and kind of like I don't know, psychoanalyzing it or however you want to say it. So that's
Yeah.
something that I'll put out at some point.
So do you do this kind of like, I mean, I'm assuming you'd have to. You write these stories out in your own words, right? And then just read them while you're doing the video?
Yeah, I type everything up. Yeah, and then I just narrate it, and then I add the pictures and the video and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Rizzy Painting said, well, $20. Thank you very much for the super chat. He said, great show, dudes. FBS, you have interesting content. It's hard work, dudes. Thank you, Rizzy Painting. It is. It's a bitch, but it'll pay off at some point.
Well,
Thank you
thanks,
very much
Jimmy.
for that, man.
Thanks for the advice, Jimmy, about not being intimidated. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and he wants to take you around, so you should take him up on that offer.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll email him. I'll get his email somehow.
There you go. Let's see what else we got. Any other questions? Batchelder Street, NYC Crime Spot. Jimmy Calandra did a video with Tommy Deeds where they discussed the attempted murder of Joey Scarpa. It all went down on Brown Street, which is 1 block from Batchelder Street. Interested?
Discuss the attempted murder. The attempted murder or the murder? Did they try to kill him and then they killed him?
Probably.
That's interesting. I mean, it would have to be like that and the actual place. There would probably be like a combination video or something. Why do you live over there? I mean, I guess Batchelder Street is your name. Spumoni Gardens. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, anybody could email me, New York City Crime Spot, nyccrimespot@gmail.com.
There you go. Mustache Pete. Yes, I'll check your email as soon as I'm done here. Sorry, I didn't get to it already. So yeah, man, this is good, bro. I'm glad I had you on here, bro. We should stay in contact.
Yeah, man.
Maybe do something together another time. Collaborate
What are you working on?
something. Listen, the next story I'm going to do, I'm not really sure yet. There's a couple of good ones, bro, that took place within my area, or not far from me, that I know really well, that I'll probably work on next. But I'm not I'm not really positive yet where I want to go with it. I just know I'm going to keep plugging away at true crime stories. So I just gotta, it's hard, bro. You gotta find the time between work and home life and fucking it's tough, bro. It's tough.
You gotta come up with the idea, and then you gotta like think about it for like a week, and then you finally gotta start writing it. And it's like it's annoying. But.
Bro, the Joey Coyle video I did, bro, it was 10 minutes. It was 6 hours of reading and researching, plus the 4 hours to listen to the audio book. You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah. You get 10 minutes, bro. It's like, wow.
Well, what's good with like the Kindle, if you use the Kindle app, right, and you get the print versions of the books, you could search through the book for keywords of, just things that you might need instead of having to listen to a whole audiobook or whatever it is.
Yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like, oh, I can't listen to this whole book, but I need to know about this one character, so I need to grab it. You just type in the name, and you just find it, whatever they say about the guy in the book, and you just read only that or whatever.
That's a good idea. It is. Good. I'm learning things. All right, man. Well, listen, thank you, bro. I wish you luck with
Hey,
your
thank you.
channel.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
came on, bro. Keep in touch, and we'll do something again in the future.
Yeah, let's collaborate on something, man. Definitely. I appreciate you asking me on, and
Oh, of
keep up
course.
the good work, man. I watch your stuff all the time. Whether
All
it's the
right, good.
beef or the fucking whatever, it's good.
The beef is more fun, of course, but it gets old.
Yeah, whatever. It's you can do it. You got it. You can do these lives. So
Yeah.
doing
All
good.
right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on, bro, and I'll keep in touch.
Yeah, man. Thanks everybody. Whoever was here, I can't see who, but thank you for watching and keep watching.
All right, sounds good. And everybody subscribe to NYC Crime Spot immediately, or else Gunsmoke is coming for you. All right, bro. I'll talk to you
All right,
soon,
man.
man.
All right. Good night,
All
everybody.
right,
Thank
cool.
you. All right. Have
Yep.
a good night.
All right, bro. Cool. All right. I've been wanting to have him on, man. That guy's good. Listen, as you could see from the couple of true crime videos I put out, I need help. I need some, not help, but you know what I mean. I have a lot of learning to do. It's going to be a process, which is fine, but it makes sense because all this is new to me to begin with. So I'm doing the best I can, but I like watching channels like NYC Crime Spot and different people like that because you pick up on little things and you see how they tell their stories. And he came right out of the gate, was doing a hell of a job, and still does on these stories. So I give him a lot of credit. So anybody who's not subscribed to NYC Crime Spot should do so. Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong, for putting that up. FBS and missing persons. Yeah, I'm gonna do some of those. You'll help me research. Well, maybe I might actually ask you for some help with that. Thank you. Oh no, you need help, FPS. Yeah, that'll be the I don't mean I need help like I need somebody to write the stories for me and give me ideas. I just mean I need to help myself. There's a reason I brought that up specifically. Oh shit. Thank you, bro. Hold on. Yeah, I don't want to say just in case he doesn't want me to say, but thank you for that cash app. Hold on. All right. No. I wasn't responding to you when I said that. I was responding to Tony Ducks. I was saying that because there's certain people on here who have people give them the ideas for shows and then maybe write it for them and all that. I would never do something like that. But yes, I might ask you for that help, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Thank you for the offer because Lord knows I don't have time. Or somebody knows. But I'm going to do my best and get better at it, start adding my own thoughts to these stories and pictures and all that good shit. But I was in a hurry to get a couple out, so it is what it is. But is Jimmy in here? Jimmy, you want to join me for a second? Talk about something? I don't know if he's in here. No, I know you were, Tony Ducks. You were saying it because they'll all start saying it. Oh, really, sis? Oh, I love true crime books. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Miss McGinnis said she just subscribed to NYC Crime Spot. Good shit. Hold on one second, guys. All right. Johnny the Greek says, practice, practice. Yes, that's what I got to do. Michael Hensley said, I just want to see you do well, bro. Oh, I know you do, man. And I thank you for that. Yeah. And I'll, it's all a learning process. You know what I mean? I'm just trying different things now, but I'll get better as I go. So, I want to see if Jimmy wants to join me for a minute to talk about something specific. Otherwise, maybe I'll just talk about it. Thank you, Brooklyn Rob One. Yeah, I liked having him on, and I thank NYC Crime Spot for joining me. That was good. RGD609. Oh, you're talking to Pat? Okay. Give me address to send the books to. Send me an email. You have my email address. Okay, sis, I will. Thank you. Gunsmoke, you coming on at 7? Where you at? I think he pushed it back a little bit. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Look at this fucking guy. Gunsmoke. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you guys for a little bit, and I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if Jimmy wants to join me. I don't know if you guys saw, Jimmy dropped a little video today. It said, "We punch back, coming soon." I figured Jimmy might want to come on and tell you a little bit about it. So let's see. Oh, you could always watch it back, Barry, but thank you for being here. Gunsmoke, I think you should do the show right after this one. It's just my opinion, though. That's what I think. So what's going on, guys? Talk to me for a few minutes while I see if Jimmy's going to join. Tell me what kind of madness is taking place on MobTube. Maybe I'll comment. Oh, thank you, RGD609. Yeah, check it out from the beginning. I think you'll like it. RGD609 says, Gunsmoke, step it up. Jesus, I can't talk. Sven Larson says, Gunsmoke the Don, salute. Why don't you do the show tonight, Gunsmoke? We're going to talk you into it. Gerard, thank you very much, bro. I meant to address a comment. Oh, I think in the beginning of the show you said you saw me on Jimmy's. Well, thank you for being here, and if you subscribe, thank you for that. I appreciate your support. I really do. Lisa Farrow, hashtag we punch back, pow. Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping Jimmy would hop on to talk about this a little bit. But I will tell you this. There will be a counter movement started called We Punch Back. I'll tell you that for right now. And it's going to be, let's just say, all these, these trolls, these faceless, nameless fucking creatures who have these channels where all they do is talk shit and try to slander people, and they hide while they act tough and they start trouble, and just all these fucking cowards, basically. Okay, many of which are part of the other movement called We Push Back. This is going to be sort of a counter to them. You know what I mean? So I think Jimmy will be able to tell you more, but that's what I could tell you for now. The title? That is great. Gunsmoke the Don. We punch back. Pow. Yeah, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing. I'm looking forward to being a part of. So you guys can look forward to that in the future, and I'm sure Jimmy will tell you more on the subject. It doesn't appear he's coming on. I don't think he's in the chat anymore or anything, so it's all good. But I just thought I'd fill you in a little bit. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to get going. Who knows? I might even pop back on at some point, but I doubt it. Gerard says, I am now your friend. Thank you. And I am yours, Gerard. I appreciate you. I'm going to get going for now, guys. I got to go eat and do some things, but I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this show. Everybody subscribe to New York City Crime Spot. All right. And until next time, guys, salute.